What's the most witchy poo you've ever seen? Vote in the comments. I'm a cat person through and through. Cats are great. They have 9 lives. They land on their feet. And if that doesn't work out, they always have a backup plan. Also, cats are magic. Just ask any cat. Any cat will tell you cats are magic. This channel is all about magical creatures and the folklore surrounding them. I'm your host. Let's get into it. If you want to learn more about the world of witchcraft and magic, there's no better place to start than with a good old-fashioned witch's book. What's that? You don't know any witches? Well, don't worry, because there's an easy fix for that. A holistic doctor uses herbs and natural remedies to help heal the body. That sounds like magic, doesn't it? Well, to some people it is. A holistic doctor is a country doctor. They are usually a general practitioner who treats the whole patient, not just their illness. If a patient comes in with a cough, a holistic doctor will treat the patient as a whole, taking into account diet and lifestyle factors. They might recommend things like elderberry syrup to soothe a cough, or perhaps something stronger like moonshine to kill the fever. This type of medical practice is called folk medicine, and it has been around since the beginning of recorded history. Some people believe that holistic doctors are a bit of a jack of all trades, master of none, but I think that's a little unfair. After all, they're not trying to be specialists. They're just trying to help their patients feel better. And if that means mixing a little bit of science with a little bit of magic, then so be it. A holistic doctor protects kid. If you have a sick child, you might call a holistic doctor to help. Who doesn't love a good old-fashioned root worker? Root workers use traditional recipes to make herbal remedies for all kinds of ailments. If you're feeling a little under the weather, a root worker might give you a tea to help you feel better. Or if you have a more serious illness, they might recommend a stronger remedy. While it may seem like magic to us outsiders, to the people who practice it, it's just a way of life. It's a way of connecting with nature and using its power to heal ourselves and our communities. And that's something we could all use a little bit more of in this world. Protect harvest. Did you know that over 100 million people in the United States practice some form of folk magic? Many people practice what is commonly referred to as Grannie Magic, a form of folk magic that originated in the Appalachian Mountains. In the Appalachian Mountains, stretching from West Virginia to Mississippi, folk magic goes by many names: root work, Grannie Magic, kitchen witch. It is the tradition of using native plants to heal and perform magic. The first people to combine Appalachian nature and spiritual ritual were the Cherokee and Choctaw. European settlers didn't flood the early American colonies until the 18th century, carrying traditional folk healing practices with them from Western Europe. Their emigration was sparked by the spread of Protestantism across Europe and the persecution of those practicing healing and ritual outside the church. Throughout the years of the Spanish Inquisition, religious institutions used the term witch to identify someone practicing healing and ritual outside the bounds of the Christian church. When these Scottish, Irish, and English settlers arrived, they combined their traditional practices with Native American knowledge about flowers, berries, roots, and leaves native to Appalachia. Settlers from Germany also shared their wisdom about rituals and natural remedies, and people of African descent shared their traditions as well. Out of this large melting pot was born a uniquely American faith tradition, practiced mostly by familial matriarchs. They became known as wise women or wise girls. These women were highly respected in their communities and were often called upon to help with everything from healing the sick to delivering babies to protecting the community from harm. Today, Grannie Magic is still practiced by some families in Appalachia. While many of the recipes and rituals have been passed down through oral tradition, there are a few books that have been published on the subject. Very good cook. October 31st is a high holiday for many people in the United States, also known as Halloween. People dress up in costumes and go door-to-door trick or treating. They also carve pumpkins and tell scary stories. But did you know that Halloween is also a time when the veil between the living and the dead is at its thinnest? On this night, ghosts can roam freely and communicate with the living. Some people believe that ghosts may even visit their homes on Halloween. That's why it's important to leave out food and drink offerings for them. So where does this strange holiday come from? Well, the origins of Halloween can be traced back to the ancient Celtic festival of Samhain. The Celts celebrated their new year on November 1st, and the day before was known as Samhain. The Celts believed that on this night, the souls of the dead returned to earth. To honor the dead, they built huge bonfires and wore costumes made of animal skins. They also left out food and drink offerings. Over time, the holiday has evolved into what we now celebrate as Halloween. Thanks for watching. See you next time. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. In the Appalachian Mountains, stretching from West Virginia to Mississippi, folk magic goes by many names: root work, granny magic, kitchen witchery, and even witchcraft. At its core, it's the tradition of using native plants to heal and perform magic, a practice deeply rooted in the region's rich history and diverse cultural influences. The origins of this magical tradition can be traced back to the Cherokee and Choctaw, the first people to combine Appalachian nature with spiritual ritual. It wasn't until the 18th century that European settlers began to flood the early American colonies, bringing with them traditional folk healing practices from Western Europe. Their migration was largely driven by the spread of Protestantism across Europe and the persecution of those practicing outside the church. During the Spanish Inquisition, religious institutions often used the term witch to identify anyone practicing healing and ritual beyond the bounds of the Christian church. As Scottish, Irish, and English settlers arrived in Appalachia, they blended their traditional practices with Native American knowledge of the local flora. The newcomers learned about flowers, berries, roots, and leaves native to the region, while settlers from Germany and people of African descent contributed their own wisdom about rituals and natural remedies. This melting pot of cultures gave birth to a uniquely American faith tradition, primarily practiced by familial matriarchs. One particular flavor of this tradition is known as Grannie Magic or Granny Witchcraft. Within these practices, older women, affectionately called grannies, served as midwives, healers, and stewards of ancestral knowledge within their communities. These wise women possessed an intimate understanding of the natural world and its hidden powers. Among the many facets of Granny Magic, cat magic holds a special place. Cats have long been associated with the mystical and supernatural, and in Appalachian folk magic, they're often seen as protectors and companions to the wise women. Many grannies are known to have a special bond with their feline friends, using their presence to enhance their magical workings and ward off negative energies. These magical matriarchs also often serve as holistic doctors for their communities. Drawing on their extensive knowledge of herbs and natural remedies, they treat a wide range of ailments, from common colds to more serious conditions. Their healing practices combine physical treatments with spiritual and magical elements, addressing both the body and the soul. One of the primary roles of a granny witch is to protect children. They create charms and amulets to keep little ones safe from harm, and their homes are often seen as sanctuaries for youngsters in need of care or guidance. Many Appalachian families have stories of a granny witch who helped a sick child recover or protected them from unseen dangers. Another important aspect of granny magic is the protection of harvests. In a region where agriculture plays a crucial role in daily life, ensuring a bountiful crop is of utmost importance. Granny witches use their magical knowledge to bless fields, ward off pests, and encourage healthy growth. They might create protective sachets to hang in barns or perform rituals during planting and harvesting seasons. Interestingly, many granny witches are also known for being exceptional cooks. Their kitchens are often the heart of their magical practice, where they brew potions, prepare herbal remedies, and cook up delicious meals infused with magical intent. The term kitchen witchery is closely associated with this aspect of granny magic, emphasizing the power of everyday domestic acts when imbued with magical purpose. While granny witches practice their craft year-round, October 31st holds special significance as a high holiday. Known variously as Samhain, Halloween, or All Hallows' Eve, this date is believed to be when the veil between the worlds of the living and the dead is at its thinnest. Granny witches often perform important rituals on this night, honoring ancestors, divining the future, and renewing their magical energies for the coming year. The tradition of granny magic continues to thrive in the Appalachian region, passed down through generations of women who serve as the keepers of this unique magical heritage. It's a testament to the resilience of folk practices and the enduring power of the connection between humans and the natural world. In the misty hollows And on the forested slopes of the Appalachian Mountains, the whispers of Grannie Magic can still be heard, a living link to a rich and magical past.